You're listening to The Upland Rookie, a podcast presented by Upland Brits, B Pro Kennels, Final Rise, and Inukshuk Professional Dog Food. You're listening to episode 76 with Delvin Terry of Just Hounds and Just Upland. Also, stay tuned for a huge giveaway announcement in the intro of this episode. You're not going to want to miss. And this podcast is brought to you by B Pro Kennels, our title sponsor of the show for almost the past year. So excited to be working with B Pro Kennels. Ben Proctor and his team over there are just creating some of the most high quality, well-built, and innovative dog boxes on the market today. If you have not checked them out yet, I would highly recommend head over to bprokennels.com and start talking with Ben. Start dreaming about what your ideal box would look like. He's got 3 incredible designs and builds over on the website. The kind of a plug-and-play system that you could get rocking and rolling in the back of your truck real quick. And or if you want to take the route of kind of customizing something that's going to be a little more tailored to your needs and how you hunt and how many dogs you have, hit them up on Instagram, social media, whatever it might be, and start talking about your custom build today at bprokennels.com. And this podcast is also brought to you by our partners at Inukshuk Professional Dog Food. Guys, Inukshuk is the only food I will feed my dogs, period. That's it. Simple as that. They've been back on it now for over a year and just have been performing at their peak levels time after time. And it's just been a food that I trust. I trust the company, the food, and the product that they're putting out. I cannot say enough about it. You may have seen some of the social media hype and just some of the trainers and trialers and kennels moving to Inukshuk, and it's worth it. It is completely worth it. My dogs, again, I believe are performing at their peak condition, and a lot of that is thanks to Inukshuk. They've been on the 30-25 blend for some time now, and later this spring, summer, I'll transition them to the 26-16 blend, and it's just been a really, really quality dog food. So if you've not checked it out already, I would highly encourage you to check out inukshukpro.com. This is also brought to you by Trinity Bretons, home of the Epinol Breton. In past episodes, I've had Jeff and Josh Ryder both on this podcast talking bird dogs and breeding and what they're doing with their breeding program over at Trinity. And guys, they are breeding some of the best bred Epinol Bretons here in the country. Their thoughtfulness into genetics and testing and really getting the best and the most out of these dogs to make them incredible in the field, in trials, as well as though in the home. We all know these dogs live with us, and so if you've been considering an Epinol Breton, definitely reach out to Trinity Bretons, all over Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff, trinitybretons.com. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Upland Rookie Podcast. I'm your host, Will Larson. And no, I did not forget about Final Rise in the opening sponsor reads. I wanted to save it till the end here because I have a really, really exciting giveaway opportunity to announce to you guys that's going to be starting today. So today is, February 21st, 2023, and this giveaway is going to be starting today. It is going to be for anyone signed up on Patreon. So anyone who's a Patreon supporter of the Upland Rookie, you will be entered in the giveaway. And the reason this is important for you to know is anyone who's signed up in the month of February will get basically their entry doubled. So if you sign up in the month of February, your entry will be doubled. No matter what tier you're on, no matter if you're on the $5 tier, the $10 tier, or higher, I will double your entry for anyone who has signed up in the month of February. So it's going to run through mid-March. I'm going to put out a social post here pretty soon, kind of go over all the details just in writing so you can all see it. But super stoked, we're going to be giving away. So this past weekend was Pheasant Fest and the Quail Classic, and Matt and his team over at Final Rise revealed the brand new Summit XT vest. Now, the Summit, if you don't know, is the kind of the original vest that Matt came out with several years ago now. I've been rocking it since it originally launched. It's been such a staple piece of gear. I'm not only taking it every single hunting trip, but I'm also wearing it at trials, summer training, spring training. You name it. This vest has been with me pretty much every time I leave the house with my dogs. And so Matt took the classic Summit vest and just made some updates and some tweaks to the vest that just are going to send it over the top. So if you have a Summit vest right now, if you have maybe a Legacy, you're looking at an update, maybe you want to give your existing vest to a spouse, a friend, your kid, whoever it might be, the Summit XT vest is just kind of that Cadillac, that next level vest that just has some premium features that really took what was an incredible product already and just kind of put it over the top. In addition, so you're going to win the vest. I'm going to pick one winner. You'll win the vest and a field glove from Final Rise. Or your choice, going to be winner's choice. They can choose a field glove or an accessory to go along with the vest. So 2 great products. I'm going to throw in a hat and a bunch of stickers as well to whoever wins. So just a reminder, get signed up on Patreon in the month of February specifically because I'm going to double your entry. Again, little as $5 a month is the lowest tier, $10 a month and higher. So no matter whatever tier you choose, I will just double that for whoever signed up in the month of February. So make sure you get signed up today, and you'll be entered in this awesome giveaway. Really, get this new vest, get it right when it launches. Final Rise, Matt's been putting out just some incredible gear from the gun cases and all the vests, the field glove, which has just been one of my favorite things I've picked up this past year was getting that field glove. He just revealed the new field pant as well. He created a field pant, a lightweight early season performance hoodie. He's just cranking out some really, really thoughtful and innovative products that are just, I've personally seen the products stand the test of time, and they really do speak for themselves. So anyways, get entered on patreon.com/the Upland Rookie Podcast. Become a supporter. And not only are you going to be entered into the giveaway, but all funds that are raised through Patreon go directly back to the podcast, help cover recording fees, equipment upgrades, things like that. So just that your support through Patreon is going directly back into these episodes that you guys are listening to week after week. So I greatly appreciate it, guys. I'm really thankful to Matt and his team for doing this giveaway with us. I'm really excited to get this vest in the hands of someone out there. And so get signed up today. I'll post some more details on Facebook and Instagram about the giveaway, but it'll end mid-March. But again, get signed up in February. Your entry will get doubled. So, hey guys, I've made this real long. I'm so sorry. I've been trying to record this intro now for a couple days. Tail end of a cold and strep running through our house and all sorts of stuff. So, I'm kind of fighting off. I'm trying to cough here. I'm trying really hard to keep it in. But so I'll kind of keep this short. Just want to share about the giveaway happening with Final Rise. The other giveaway. Again, I'm directly not impacted from this. I'm not giving it away personally, but B Pro Kennels is giving away a dog box, a shotgun, and a hunting trip to South Dakota. So all you have to do with B Pro Kennels giveaway is buy a piece of merchandise off B Pro Kennels website, shirt, hoodie, hat, whatever it might be, and you'll be entered into their giveaway. Again, he's got 2 awesome giveaways, and that closes the end of February. So that giveaway has been open for the whole month of Feb. Get signed up over there. All you got to do is buy a hat, hoodie, stickers, and whatever it might be. And so he's got all the details as well on his Instagram, the website. So if you want your chance to win a dog box or a brand new shotgun, head over to bprokennels.com for all the info and get signed up over there. So that's really all I wanted to drop on you right now. We're going to dive into the interview. This is with Delvin Terry of Just Hounds and also Just Upland. Love this conversation with Delvin. Really appreciate his insights and just learning more about him and what he's been doing with hound dogs as well as bird dogs. So hope you guys enjoy. This one's with Delvin Terry.
There's a lot going on at one time, Again, it's the camera positioning, turning equipment on, watching the hunter, safety, all that stuff.
That's right. That's right.
It's it's tricky,
Yeah.
man.
So a lot of guys, like I said, especially some of the guys that I have on the team with me. I mean, we try to find time to put, get the dogs on there and get the camera, get good shots. But it's tough,
It
unless
is,
you got
man.
like a GoPro on or something like that where it's recording continuously.
Yeah.
It's tough,
I was going to ask, are you using a GoPro or just like your phone or a nicer camera? Or
If I don't have I have like a mirrorless camera Canon. If I'm not carrying that, I typically pull my phone out to catch other still shots or catch some video action shots.
Okay.
I've had the GoPros in the past, but like I said, I forget to hit the record button. Certain stuff like that goes on, but it's tougher because from the GoPro perspective. Well, nowadays the camera quality is so much better now.
Sure.
On some of the GoPros. But before, when it first started out, it was like, that's not good. I hate the graininess of it.
Yeah, like it almost wasn't worth it when they first came out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So I've always kind of stuck with the phone or the mirrorless camera. But
that's awesome.
We're here now. So hopefully, maybe in the future, I'll try it out.
Yeah, man. I was gonna say the phones have gotten so good these days. I mean, it's like ridiculous what you can do with whether it's a nicer Android or Apple or it's the camera qualities are fantastic right now.
Yeah, I mean, especially. I mean, when you get any of the stuff that's within let's say 2010. I mean,
and like anything above there.
Yeah, you're pretty much in good shape. I mean, it's 720, 1080p. Anything you can get past that, you're in a good. Because for me, I love catching good early morning shots. I love catching like the colors and the fur and stuff on the birds or the feathers on the. So it when you catch good shots, nowadays everybody wants to see all those type of things. The colors on the dog, how the dog's pointing. And I do too. Granted, I want to be.
It's nice to look back on those, and remember those hunts or training days, whatever it might be.
Right.
Those are always fun. Well, are you going? You going to Pheasant Fest at all?
We had looked into trying to find some time to go out, but we won't be able to make it out this year. Like I said, for me, especially school schedule and stuff like that, I won't be able to make it and make it a turnaround. But next year we're trying. I think it'll be. I think what they say, Minnesota or not, next year. Is it Minnesota?
It's Minnesota this year. It's Minneapolis. Do you know where? Did they?
I'm not sure where they said it'd be at next year.
I feel like is it further west? South Dakota was last year, right?
Right, South Dakota was last year.
Yeah, it was last year. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure where the next one's going to be. Hopefully it's closer to Colorado. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
or Ohio.
Or Ohio. In between. We can figure it out a little bit. But,
how about Chicago? I got some family in Chicago I can stay with.
That's only 5 hours away. We can do that.
Have you ever been to one before?
No, so I've never been to Pheasant Fest. Have you?
Okay. Same here. I have not been yet. I'm in your same boat, man. I was trying to get there this year and just I don't think it's going to happen, but
yeah, it looks like a blast though. I mean, everybody typically shows up. I mean, you can get so much information from those things as well. You know what I'm saying? So many different people show up, so many different guides, professionals.
Just to meet people and the camaraderie, I think is one of the cooler parts of it for sure. But well, Delvin, let's jump on in here, man. Why don't you first off introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit of who you are and put us on the map. Where are you talking to us from?
So, talking to you from Dayton, Ohio. Like I said, I own Just Hounds. It's a brand, but it has developed into just an outdoor service here in the area. We provide an opportunity for young men and young ladies, adults who are interested in going out and trying to learn a little bit more about hunting, learn about dog work. And, a lot of people that come out with us only know about the deer hunting. They're like, oh, I want to deer hunt, but haven't really found or been able to see, dog work. And so we give them the opportunity to see what dog work looks like and, kind of blows them away like, oh, wow, I love this, because then they get a chance to want to go with a dog or want to go try this. So it gives them an opportunity to have a companion in the field as well. So, we've started that. It's kind of taken its toll and people love it. We love it. We love being able to help and teach people and show people a different avenue as to, what we love to do and what we call like sticking with tradition. This year is called Legacy Season because we're trying to establish that legacy for our children and our family and just the sport in general. Just establishing, awesome dog work, awesome people, awesome fellowship. So, that legacy is what we kind of trying to build on. But yeah, that's basically in a nutshell,
Yeah.
hounds and bird dogs.
That's so cool, man. You got both worlds right there, the hound world and the bird dog world. That's
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
gonna make for a
sure.
good conversation right here. I'll tell you that.
Definitely, definitely.
um,
Have you been out with any hounds?
no, I've not ever hunted with hounds or anything like that. That's a new world for me.
Okay, well, we'll have to set something up. So
Yeah,
next
man.
season, we'll plan out a hunt. We'll
Yes.
have to come out that way.
I think this conversation is going to be very educational for me as well. I've had a couple guests here and there that are in that world a little bit, but
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear a little bit more about it. Curious
Well,
on the Just Hounds, kind of what you're running right now. You mentioned that it kind of sounds like a heavy emphasis on like new hunters and people who aren't really in this world. Is that correct?
yeah. So originally started for me. Like I said, I've been hunting since I was 5, but being a black kid in hunting world, you really typically don't get looked at as like, oh, you hunt. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So for me, wearing camouflage and that was natural for me. I just wear hunting
sure,
stuff all the time. But I also wanted to be able to wear things to practice or after practice that was geared towards the type of style that I like to hunt. So as far as hounds or bird hunting, so and throughout I think for the last 30 plus years, it's only been pheasant forever, browning. You've got certain real big individuals,
sure,
big sides that where they have more majority of the either bird hunting
sure.
or you have deer hunting. And so I wanted to just start a brand where people feel comfortable representing what they love to do, bird hunt,
Mm,
just upland, and then you also have just hounds. And
mm,
so in that brand, it started with clothing. It started with just trying to share with the community, with people that's in the hunting community, just to put on something that you enjoy and share it with the next person. Because like typically, right, you'll see somebody driving down the street with a pickup with a dog box on the back. You're like, oh, that's a hunter, right? But you might be in school and you might bump into a kid and he that you never knew he hunted, but
yeah,
he's got bird dog shirt on, and you're like, oh wow, man, you
yeah.
hunt. So it kind of just played that same kind of
That's
me
cool.
up.
So you kind of through your apparel and design, it sounds like you were trying to kind of market it to the people who aren't really in this space,
Definitely,
right? That's that's
definitely. I mean,
that's
because
cool.
you like I said, I mean, if we're hunters, we're gonna know off rip. Like,
Yeah,
we still strike up a conversation. We can talk dogs. We can talk hunting. But for the individual who's just getting into it or hasn't really felt confident enough to just step out, wear some camouflage or wear certain
sure.
stuff. They aren't really feeling it. Just to feel comfortable, feel comfortable putting something on that you enjoy doing. Or if you're a kid and you just want to throw on some hound gear or you want to throw on a bird dog says, a rooster or
Yeah,
something's flying on your shirt or a bird dog pointing a rooster. You just want to be able to wear it and feel cool without like a Nike shirt or a
totally.
Under Armour shirt. And
Yeah,
so we geared it towards that, and it slowly but surely started picking up. People wanted to, oh man, I want to go with you guys. Can you show us this? And so we started building platforms to where we can offer classes and opportunities for young men and young ladies to come out and experience what our sport is and the truths and untruths about hunters
yeah.
and the sport.
Wow,
Some
man.
people get misconceptions about us, right?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I think that was a really really good teaser. I want to unpack Just Hounds definitely a little bit more here in a second.
Yeah, of
Let's
course.
learn a little bit more about you. I know you said you mentioned you were hunting since you were 5. Like take us through your upbringing, your family, and your journey getting into hunting, and both in the hound world and the upland world.
Well, like I said, my father was a big hunter as far as hounds is concerned. So he did a lot of rabbit hunting, a lot of coon hunting in Mississippi. And so he traveled here by way of Central State. He had a basketball scholarship to go to a college here in Central, HBCU, historically black college here in Ohio, and was able to play ball, was able to get a job in the educational system, but um, still hunted, still was able to do the things he loved. And so um, as I was concepted and continued to get behind him and walk behind him in the woods, I started to love it, right? And for me, like kids, you just go and
Sure.
follow dad, right? But for me, we've always had the dogs in the yard. And I've always had a thing for dogs. I've always loved dogs. Watching the hounds in the backyard and watching him work them, watching him taking them out at night,
So he
getting
so he
coons.
had hounds that he was hunting with, and
Oh yeah, he
okay,
had coon dogs. I mean, he did this. He did coon hunt competitions and all those things. So he
okay,
was really into it. He really loved it as well. So he would go like now, like I just got off working at school. He would get off, come home, and he'd be on the way out to the woods at night, coon hunting.
That's awesome.
And so that's kind of how it started for me. And so 5 years in, well, becoming 5, right? I was able to get out with him. We was on a rabbit hunt, and was able to roll my first rabbit behind some dogs. And I haven't looked back since. And
That's awesome.
What I say, probably by the time I was probably 10 or 12, he was having he had German short hair pointers. And so we started getting into bird hunting.
Okay.
And that's how I started behind German short hairs. And
wow.
Always had German short hairs up till about 7-8 years ago.
Okay. And then you moved away from the short hairs? Yeah.
So now I got all English pointers, long tail dogs, pretty white, pearly white dogs.
Beautiful.
And,
Beautiful.
I love them. I love being able to see them work through the field.
Yeah.
But like I said, that doesn't take anything away from GSP because I love the GSP. I love setters as well. And then like I said, we went out to Iowa last season with Trinity Brittany's and was able to get behind Josh. And nice. Josh had some Brits out. And so we really got a chance to get behind some good Brits and watch some good dogs there as well there. So I love all the dogs. I love all gun dogs. But for me right now, that long tail, that white is something to be seen out there in the field.
Oh, absolutely, man. Those are beautiful, beautiful little Ferraris running around out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. Going back to the hound side for just a second, do you have any hound dogs still?
Yeah. So we got beagles, right? I don't have any coon dogs or anything like that at the moment. Okay. My wife's probably happy about that, but
yeah, sure.
But we had, like I said, we have 4 beagles. And like I said, we get out, we rabbit hunt. And, if we get a chance, like this past weekend, we did a bird hunt on a Saturday and we rabbit hunted on Sunday. So it just
awesome.
Depends on the mood or depends on what guys want to do that day. And we get out and have a little fun on both sides of
it. So this is, again, I know basically nothing about the hound and coon dog world. So, well, here's my question. And then, yes, let's break it down a little further. Will a beagle, can you hunt like a coon with a beagle? Will they do that?
He'll track it. Like I said, you could track the hound. You could track any dog to track something. But so in this case, so if you had a beagle, he could track him. But what the difference is for coon dogs, they're much bigger, much taller, so a coon will travel and run a dog for a mile before it goes up a tree.
Okay.
Right. So having a bigger dog, having a stronger dog with an open chest, have better endurance versus a beagle who's meant to run. They could put up miles,
shorter distances.
Shorter distances, but they're meant to track and they're meant to chase.
Okay.
Coon dogs meant to track, chase, and tree. And so their job is to look up and to open up. And so it's totally different. So same as if we were, hunting a big cat or a big bear, you'd be looking for bigger hounds, for much larger hounds to chase. And it's the same thing for coons. You could, like I said, some people use beagles to flush birds. It's whatever you like to do with them, I guess. Whatever you make of it.
Whatever you make, yeah. Well, can you actually kind of, again, at a general term, we don't have to get super nitty gritty, but can you take us through kind of like say you get a young hound dog, like what are you doing with that young dog to again, I know the bird dog world, training, introduce them to birds, that kind of stuff. Like what would you do with a young, hound dog?
So in the same case, right? So in the same case, we have right now, we got 2 pups on the ground. They'll be 7 weeks old this week coming up.
Okay.
So in the same way we would start working with a bird dog, right? We're working on recall, little treats here, just have a little fun. We want dogs to be dogs, puppies to be puppies, and build as much confidence as they can.
Yeah.
So as they get about a month old or so, 2 months old, 3 months old, we're starting to develop that tracking in them. So we're, pulling a little, scent trail around the house to see if they're able to track, if they're able to follow. For me, my kids love to take a hot dog and just drag it through the yard, right? So now they're using that nose. They're starting to develop those those strong senses of using your nose to track. And by then, so like let's say we weren't in the hunt season. Let's say we didn't have any type of game to go and find. You'd either work it on a starting pen where you go and train a dog in a starting pen where they got rabbits, and you'd let your pup out, and he just instinctively start chasing. He'll bump a rabbit, he'll chase it. Or like you said, I've trained a lot of dogs off of roadkill, right? So I've picked up you find some rabbits on the side of the road, and all you're really looking for is that scent, that strong scent for them to want to chase, that hide for them to want to love and to pull and to tug on. Let them chase it around, let them play with it, and just develop that love for that particular animal, that game. Sure. Same goes for bird dogs, right? When we put him down, on the ground first. We're not putting him down with a big, huge rooster, right? We're not trying to intimidate him off rip.
You're building up to it still, it sounds like.
That's right. We're still building up that bird drive and that drive for that rabbit, that coon, whatever it is that you're looking for. For that particular hunt or that whatever that sport you're in for that particular year. But it's all the same. Once you start
very similar ish. Yeah, it sounds like some of the concepts.
It can get difficult. So let's say you've trained him to do all these great things. The pup is starting to develop great skills. He's picking up. He's probably about 6-7 months old by now. And you've got him out there in the field, and he's opened up on his first rabbit, and he's running his first rabbit. He's finally turned him and brought him back. And then you're confident in him. He gets out and he bumps a deer, right? This is the point where you're trying to find where you can correct him, right? Because he can bump one, but does he chase it, right? Does he have the desire to chase that deer, or does he stick with the rabbit? Does he stick with that? And so you start to find different habits and different desires out of dogs. You have some dogs who are super geared, super high drive, and they're like, oh, there's a deer, I'm going to chase it.
Oh, right? next best thing.
Right. We can correct it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why we have our trash collars and things like that. We can correct it and call him off of it. But then we want to continue to make adjustments as he gets older and as he continues to train.
Kind of fine tuning and getting everything dialed in.
Same thing for bird dogs, right? I'm walking, like I just had this past week. Rain is doing a great job backing. She's done a really great job this season honoring the point, right? But she loves to creep still, right? Okay. And so those are things we're still working on with Whoa, right? She does a good job initially with it, but when she's getting a little eager, now she's seeing this other dog in front of her, so she's real competitive, right?
Sure.
And she's like, is he going to get the point? Is he going to get it before I get it, right? So we're building on those habits to honor, and just when I say whoa, you just ease up a little bit and hold it for me right there and stand completely still. Yeah. So all those different worlds have their different stuff, but it's the same typical concepts. You're just working and fine tuning the little things that you see that you don't want the dogs to do or that you do.
That's awesome, man. Where did you, again, it sounds like dogs were in your life from a young age, but like, where did you then, because it sounds like you're training a lot of your own dogs, whether it's tracking dogs or your bird dogs now. Where did you learn this from?
So watching Dad train and work, but then I also read a lot of books. I've also got behind, so him running GSPs, I was always out on, instead over here in Ohio, we have a lot of bird farms. We have a lot of guys that guide dogs and work dogs. So just being on the farms, watching these guys develop their habits and develop their dogs, and getting behind some of these guys, and they're showing me, these bird dogs are showing me the different tools and things that they use, and just picking up different skills from different trainers and different guides over the years. And then you find your own habits, right? You find your own way that you think works for you. But you also pick up other things. I was like, oh, wow, that works. Or he's trying this, let me try that. And so that's just the business we're in, is communicating with each other, piggybacking off of training tips and different things that they thought worked. Because I might have a super hard-headed dog and he doesn't anything that I'm training to do, he won't listen. Sure. And then I take him up the street to another guy and it's like clockwork. Like, wow, he wouldn't do that for me. Is it that person? Is it the guy? Or is it my training method? You know what I mean? So all of those things happen, but I'm studying, reading books, getting behind guys that know it, and was open to training and teaching me some things. Yeah. And like I said, being behind my dad, there was a lot of older guys in the field telling me what not to do, how to do, where to get behind dogs, how to treat dogs in the field, and to trust your dog. I've hunted behind some bad guys in the field. I've hunted, not to say that they're bad guys, but
Sure.
bad in the way they train or the way they work their dog, right?
Sure.
So I've had experience in both worlds. Like, oh wow,
you got to see what works, what doesn't, what your style is, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an ongoing thing, right? There's no like I know it all. There's no
end date of like okay now
There's always something new, and there's always a new way, and you always meet up. You might like I love watching Miller and the way he works his bird dogs. Studying some of his old film and listening to him talk about wooing dogs and letting pups be pups and waiting a year before he starts to work dogs. But then you also have Hickok and the way he moves and works his dogs, and different guys who have been on different stages in their life as far as competition. And listening to some guys who haven't even been on the competition stage, who are just dog men who just love dogs, who just love to train, right? And just learning from different people. Well, I'm going to learn a whole lot from you, I'm sure, over the next couple of years. It's like, oh, wow, I love how he used that and what he did with that particular dog. And I should try that here. So it's different stuff, man.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. What kind of hunting are you doing most? I know in Ohio, you got a lot of bird farms and all that kind of stuff, preserves. Are you taking any trips? What have you did you do any trips this past season or?
Yeah. So typically we try to get out, like I said, Iowa. You have Alabama. We get out to Alabama. Like my buddy, the family of mine that just came in from town was West Virginia. Okay. So there are states and stuff that we are as wild bird hunters. There's no way I can feel confident to just hunt wild birds here in Ohio. So Kansas, Iowa, South Dakota, all those locations, you're going to have to get out there and you're going to spend some money to get out of state and hunt.
Yeah.
But that's the fun part of it, right?
Yeah, it's an adventure.
Going in the unknown, finding spaces that you're not necessarily confident in, but you're just studying a map and looking at it and just going at it. You and the dog and a hunt buddy, and you guys are having fun. So we got to get out of state. I have a lot of private property here, like I said, as far as rabbit hunting is concerned.
Sure.
And there are wild birds as far as quail, but they've only limited the bag limit to one, right? So it's like, we might put on 15, 20 miles and I'm only bagging one bird. It's kind of tough, on a dog who's working great all day. Right. He's locking up on a covey of quail or two coveys the whole time, and I'm only shooting one bird for him. It's kind of productive.
That's tough. I've heard Ohio can be tough for that. Because even pheasants too. They have a very small population, if I remember right, of like very true wild.
You can come across some wild birds. You can come across some wild chucker. I mean not chucker, but grouse, some woodcock. You have your pheasant, but it's far and few between. Now, as far as grouse is concerned, Michigan, Ohio, you get up further north or down south or up closer to Virginia, you're going to get up your grouse. The woodcock is pretty much all over. There's certain spots that you can hit that you can get some good population of. Not too many people hunt them here. You know what I mean? Just, one of those birds is like,
you got to kind of time the flight right.
Yes, yeah, and the seasons go in and out too many times, right? If you're not really a bird hunter, you don't know about it, right? Everybody here is deer.
It's all about deer, right?
Yeah, that's all. It's either deer or you go out on Thanksgiving for a bird, and you're like, everybody's like Fort Knox out there on public land trying to have fun.
Oh man, have you gotten your dogs out west at all, like into the big open prairies at all, or is that on your bucket list still?
Not yet, definitely on the bucket list. So we were supposed to try to get out with Josh and do something like that out west.
Okay.
But like I said, my educational schedule is totally backwards when it comes to that because with kids back at school in August.
Yeah. And I was going to ask you about that, like being in the education world, like schedule wise, like that's gotta be tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. So weekends are definitely, when I get opportunity, I'm out there.
Sure.
And like I said, I got to put in some time. So if I'm scheduling out hunts, so Christmas time is like the huge time where I have like a gap where we're off for Christmas break. I'm like, okay, we're hunting. We're going to.
Let's go.
My wife knows, like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
But it's tough because her birthday is the 27th of December, so it's like smack in the middle.
That's tough, man. That's tough.
Yeah, definitely tough. Like early season, we do a lot of dove hunting, do a lot of training. But a lot of seasons start opening up in November because what I love to get on is some prairie grouse, right? Some sage grouse,
Sure.
different things like that open up early parts of the year.
Yeah.
And just to try, just to get out there in Nebraska, get out there in Idaho, Wyoming, and try those different birds. But that's just one of those bucket list birds, as well as some chucker. Get up in the mountains and do that as well.
Same here, man. That'd be fun. Well, if you make your way out west, it's an open invite. I will meet up with you, or we'll figure something out.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna do that because I got to bring the hounds too, right?
I have to. You have to. I'm very intrigued to hunt behind a tracking dog like that. That'd be a blast, I think.
For sure.
That'd be awesome.
You'll love it. Like I said, this season we took some guys out who never hunted behind the hounds, and they got a kick out of it, man. They had a blast and was able to watch the dogs work and watch them bring the rabbit back to them, and and then watching the rabbit, try to outsmart the dogs, right? You have the rabbit who might cross over his track or run over his track or do a figure eight to try to trick the dogs. So they got a kick out of that, man, and it's just fun to watch the dogs figure it all out on the go.
Yeah,
and likewise with the bird dogs.
Absolutely. Hey, here's a really dumb question. So is the dog catching the rabbit, or is it just pinning it down and you'll come up and shoot the rabbit?
So let's say we're out, and just like we are, let's say we walk in the field, we're hitting the fence row, and we're planning to get up a covey of quail, right? Okay. In that covey, let's say a dog would go and point a couple 100 yards or 50 yards ahead of us. We're like, oh, we got a point, right? In this case, right, we'll hear the dog say, oh, and he struck, right? So we know there's a rabbit in there. The rabbit's not going to let him catch him, right?
Right.
He's going to haul it, and he's going to run all the way up this tree line, and the dog's going to get behind him. He's going to bark until that rabbit turns. The rabbit's going to bark. So now I'm hearing the dog chase, and I'm getting a gist of where that rabbit is running and how he's going to run. So typically a rabbit will run a circle, and if we're in a tree line or a fence line, he's going to run up, and if he has nowhere else to go, he's going to come right back.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to say, hey, get ready on that side of the fence, right? Get ready. If I'm going to be on my side of the fence line, and I'm watching to see if that rabbit either comes down the center or if he's going to come out wide on the left side.
Oh, interesting.
So he's either going to come with his ears pinned back, hauling it past you, or he's going to come tipping. So trying to listen for the dog. So what you'll see is he'll tip and listen for the dogs to see where he's at or how close they are, or they're pushing him a little too hard or too fast, and he's going.
Wow.
So we're going to see how good you can shoot.
That is wow! I did not know. That was fascinating. Oh my gosh, that's got to be quite the experience out there.
It's fun. You got to
listen for the dog and playing out. Yeah, dang.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes the rabbit is quite a ways out in front of the dogs, and sometimes he's a couple feet in front of him, almost about to get caught. So,
because I mean, beagles. I mean, they're pretty small, right? So I mean, they can't be they're pretty fast though, right?
Yeah. I got some fast ones. And so you have a range of different speeds of dogs when it comes to beagles. And a lot of guys, they say I like a medium speed dog, right? So he's like about 5 or 4.5, 6. And then you got a higher speed dog who's pushing that rabbit, right? A lot of guys who are slower, who are older, who are in competition and doing some hunts, they like their dogs to just work that line. And so they get points by staying on line, staying on track, right? And striking. Who strikes first? Different things like that.
Sure.
But for me, as a game hunter, as a rabbit hunter, I'm looking for him to get out and the dogs to push him. And to push him out of that thicket, I don't want to give the rabbit opportunity to feel like he can make it home. Because the slower he is, the slower he's going, the more time he thinks about where he can get to.
Okay. Interesting.
So it's a thinking game. If you can keep the rabbit moving, you're in business. As long as the dogs can keep the scent, keep the track, and pick it up, you got a race going.
Dang, man. Sounds like a blast. I got to ask you, switching over to the bird dog side a little bit. So what led you then to say, all right, I'm going English pointer, no more GSP? What led you to that decision?
So, my dad ran into a guy named John Gillespie. And so Gillespie is the president of NASTRA here in Ohio. Okay. And so he's great about getting his dogs out and working in competition. And the NASTRA, I didn't know anything about it at all, right? And so getting into studying that and learning all about the competition side of bird hunting, it was very intriguing to me. The different styles, the points, how much, how competitive it is as far as from the dog standpoint. How many points a dog, how long he has to hold his point before he has to flush or before we can flush the bird. And he got a pup from him, and the pup that I got was an English pointer. And so from there on, it was just like, oh wow, I love this dog, and I've never turned back. Now, that's not to say I won't go get me another GSP. Because I've come close several times, but it's been if it were up to me, I'd have a whole pen full of just dogs.
all different. Yeah.
But
so were you, when you got that English pointer pup, were you looking to just get another breed, or were you looking specifically for a pointer?
So at that point in time, I was heavy into rabbit hunting. So I had hounds, and Dad was he was trying to roll right on into bird hunting. And so he was trying to take that out of me just because he loved bird hunting in general. But for me, I was intrigued by the competition of it, and how they got out, how they studied it, how they won. So back then I believe it was the gun dog circuit. If you're familiar with that. They had that going on. It was on YouTube. It was on.
I remember seeing that. Yeah, Bird Dog Wars or something.
Yeah,
that was great, man. That was so fun.
So that was like, I was like, I got to do this. It was like something that I was like in me, and I was like, that particular dog I worked with. I studied, read books and everything on just the competition side, not just the bird hunting, because for me it was like, oh, we're just gonna bird hunt. I can cut a dog loose and he can naturally point a bird, right?
Sure.
And we could say we're bird hunting. But for me, I wanted to get into it a little heavier. I wanted to study it a little bit more. I wanted to figure out the ins and outs of it and why it was as big as it was as far as on the competition side. And so watching Bird Dog Wars and watching them guys win and watching those guys turn dogs who typically wouldn't be, because I was like one of the guys. He had got some dogs from I think a pound, one of the pounds or something like that.
I remember that.
And ended up winning a couple years. And I was like, wow, I got to figure out how I can do this. But then I think that particular competition has gone away. I'm not sure if they still do that, Bird Dog Wars or not.
Sure.
But, and so that's how NASTRA here in the Ohio division started for me. Like I said, and then, but at that point I didn't have kids.
Sure.
I had them, but I wasn't. It wasn't as my oldest daughter's 17 now, but she was still young, so I was like, okay, I could still play in it a little bit, try the competition. But after baby number two, was like,
then kids come in and trialing gets very, very hard.
Trialing is definitely tough to get into because it's something consistent. You have to be consistent. You have to keep your dogs tuned up, and you want to keep them getting their point system. You want to make sure they get getting all those extra points so that you can
if you have a goal of a title on them or something, it's like you can't just run one event. Like it's gonna be multiple.
So what they started doing here is they call like icebreakers. So some of the bird farms would do the icebreakers, and they would have like a little trial, a mock trial or something like that, and they do
fun.
So we started having a little fun, getting in some of those. And then you also had, like I said, you have the NASTRAs where I just get out and just watch guys work dogs without getting involved in it. Getting involved in that is totally different than getting in an icebreaker. Because icebreaker, they're not knocking you for a lot of the rules that you would get in.
Oh, sure. A little more relaxed and
definitely a lot more relaxed than getting bumped or getting knocked for some of the points that you would get for a dog not holding or not backing or doing things like that. Or if you're doing a brace with a dog, it's a whole different story. But it was so intriguing to me, and that's how I got into this portion of guiding and different things like that, because I just loved watching the bird dogs work. And here we are today trying to keep it alive with kids who've never seen a bird dog work.
I know that's the thing, man. Introducing these kids and people who haven't experienced this to what we get to see. I've said this probably a couple times in the podcast, but I think what we get to experience as bird hunters, whether it's at a preserve or wild birds, whatever it is, like it's special. Like it's something special we get to experience out in the outdoors with our dogs,
Definitely.
with some close friends and family. It's hard to describe sometimes, even explaining to my wife sometimes, of a great hunt I had, like it can be difficult because it's like,
It
I can tell her all
definitely
the details, but like, I can't explain the feeling that you get when you're out there,
you can't, right? Because so like, so like when I was like 16, 17, I killed my first deer, but I was like in a situation to where I was really into bow hunting. And like when people expressed to me like, oh, you get buck fever, I didn't know what it was,
Sure.
but you feel it like
Yeah.
watching that buck walk up on you and you're trying to hold the bow back. So it's kind of like that same feeling. You can't describe it to someone who doesn't know that feeling, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so working bird dogs or getting just hunting in general and getting a feeling or getting a thriving, like a super huge dopamine feeling being out there in the woods,
Sure.
just either hunting or being with friends or watching the dogs work.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain to somebody who's like, wow, you want to get out there and just shoot birds? It's like, no,
Right. It's
not just
so
shooting
much
birds.
more than that. It's so much more.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know that feeling
definitely.
when your dog goes on point and locks up. It's like that in itself is thrilling.
Yeah. That is, let's just think about a dog you've worked and just developed, and now you're taking him on his first wild bird hunt, and he's like, he locks up on a covey, and it's like, oh my God, you get chills. Like I'm getting chills now. Like,
we all know what it feels like. We know what it feels like. It's hard to explain though.
It is definitely hard, man. But when you get someone out there, like the kid, I brought a kid in this past weekend. He had never bird hunted. He loves deer hunting, loves rabbit hunting, and he had never hunted behind bird dogs. And so I had explained to him. I told him, I said, hunting a preserve is like doing laser tag in comparison to like getting out there in a real battle. Like it's like you're just getting a feel for it when you're out there in a wild bird hunt and birds. You might be walking for a mile or 2 miles with nothing, and then all of a sudden you come over the hill or you get a notification on your phone or dog on point, and you're like, oh wow, you're trying to get to them, and then you don't know if it's one bird, you don't know if it's 30.
You don't know if he's taking a crap. You don't know if it's like there's so many things out there.
That's right. I mean, it's and so he got a chance to get. We put out so many birds for him to get up, and he was like, man, this is difficult. This is more difficult than I thought. Just trying to hit one of the birds, right? And him watching the dogs go on point and him explaining to him how to come up and how to work and how to get in a good position to knock a bird down. But you can tell people all about it until they're put in that position, and it's like, oh, this is easy. All I gotta do is hit a bird, and yeah, buddy, all you gotta do is hit him. So,
when it all comes together in the moment,
and you just see that smile. Like my mother, she loves bird hunting. She loves hunting out now with us, and watching her get her first bird was great.
Oh, that's so cool.
Trying to get my wife to it, trying to get her, and she'll go deer hunting and stuff with me now. But if I could get her out there and watch her knock down her first bird, I think that would be like, oh my God.
Oh, that'd be
for her. She probably won't feel that, but if I watch her knock her first bird down, oh my God.
You're just like, all right, I'm done. I retire. I'm good. Like,
yeah. I mean, my oldest daughter killed her first rooster 3-4 years ago, and I mean, it was like I felt like we won the championship. I was like, oh, we're out of here.
It's the best thing ever. That's awesome, man. Are all three of your kids into bird hunting or dogs to any degree?
So my oldest daughter, she's 17. So initially, she loves hunting, but she'd rather rabbit hunt, right? She thinks it's still very difficult to shoot a bird flying.
Sure.
Even as she's already hit one. But my youngest two, they're still getting in the process of not, so they don't even carry a gun yet. They're just walking.
Sure.
They carry their Nerf guns, right?
Yeah.
Just practicing gun safety, just practicing how to hold their rifle in the proper position, things like that. Or they have their little Daisy, pea shooter, things like that.
Sure.
But they love, every time I get up in the morning, like they're beating the door down, trying to get to me, trying to figure out, can they go? Or, Dad, I miss that. Because, we're in Ohio, so it's cold season. And, can't necessarily have them out there in the woods now. But luckily for us, preserve season, farm season, it lasts all the way till April.
Sure.
And so they're
You
trying to
got
get
some
out there and
time.
get out. Yeah. So
That's
I
awesome.
tell them all the time, we'll get out later season, just to get out there and work the dogs. Now, as far as rabbit hunting is concerned, my son loves watching the rabbits and helping daddy clean the rabbits and stuff like that.
Nice.
But so I'd love to get him out there on a rabbit hunt, but it's tough because rabbits, you got to get in the briars. You got to get in the tough stuff.
Tough walking. Yeah.
Yeah. So unless it's like a spot where I feel confident where we might just get one and push one out so where he can see him come out and watch daddy rolling. But it's so much walking, it's so much, different terrain that you got to get through that. For him as a 5-year-old, I just wouldn't put him through that. And I won't put I'm not going to put daddy through that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, let's be real. You're going to be throwing him over your shoulder. And
That's right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it's a joy watching the kids be just enthused by wanting to go out and hunt. I never want to pressure them into wanting to go. Like I said, if they want to go, I take them. If I'm able, they love to fish. They love to get out there and play and just be around the outdoors. They love watching daddy train, so they get out there and help dad, whoa a dog or, style him up and stuff like that. So they love it. They love dogs. And
that's awesome.
I
was going to say, oh no, go ahead.
I think eventually it'll transform for them, like what that dog could do for you. Like they got the beagles. So, I mean, having a beagle is much more easier, right? Because he can play with you all in the backyard. You don't have to worry about styling him up back there in the backyard, right? But they just enjoy it, and they're always wondering when we're going to get the next puppies. I'm like,
it's like eventually, because you got what, six dogs? No, 6 bird dogs right now, right?
Yeah, so we got 6 bird dogs. I have 1 German Shepherd, and we have the beagles. Okay. And so at my house, I have 2 females here at the house, my Shepherd and the beagle, and then my buddy has he has the other beagles at his location, and my dad has the other ones.
Nice. Spread it out a little bit.
Spread out. So I'm not the one doing all the work.
That's smart. That's smart.
So we're kind of working as a team to kind of make sure everybody's, in a good space.
That's awesome.
Where we're not all getting in trouble by our wives.
Yeah, exactly. You want to stay married. I was going to say about we were chatting about kids is, one of my favorite things is like the training season with kids and getting them out there in the summer when it's easy to walk and not bitter cold. Yeah. Like that's been a blast of just having them out. Working dogs, because it's like you said, easier. You're not walking through briars. You're walking through usually a nicer field. Temperatures are good. Yeah. Like it's a good time to get kids out there.
Why, when you're taking new hunters out, right? You want them to be successful, and even if you take them fishing or take them hunting, you want people to be successful in their moment that they go.
Sure.
Right? You don't want them to be like out there getting frostbite. You don't want them to be out there like, oh, the hell with this. This is why you're out here. Right. You want people to feel that experience that brings them back. Yeah. And so, good thing for pheasant preserves, it does that. They're going to get, you're going to get a shot at a bird, right? Sure. Can you hit him is the question, right? Yeah. So they get that experience. And if, like I said, if you take some kids out fishing or take a guy out fishing, am I taking him to a spot where I know we're going to sit here all day and look at the water, or am I going to find a spot where I know he's going to get some action on some nice sized bluegill or some crappie where, it's back to back.
Little success and
just a little bit. You want people to feel a little bit of joy in what they have accomplished, right? Because I can feel joy watching you be, oh man, you happy? Yeah, I'm out here. I'm out, glad to be out in the woods. Yeah, they do. But at the same time, in the back of their brain, right, you want to be successful. Like a lot of times I tell guys, for me, like going out in the woods, I don't have to kill a bird. I don't have to kill a rabbit. I don't have to do any of that stuff because I just love being in the woods. So for them, sometimes they get, I didn't kill anything. Right. Mm-hmm. So they get discouraged by that. And you have to kind of walk them back off of it and let them kind of know that what you see me do or what you see someone else do, that's a lot of work that goes into it. Right. Sure. There's a lot of practice that goes into just working on your aim and working on developing skills to make sure that when you put that bird up or put him down, you're doing it in an effective way. But at the same time, letting them understand that you're not going to be perfect every time you go out. Yeah. I'm not going to be perfect every time. My dogs are not going to be perfect every time they go out. And so people get a lot of times they get a misconception of what they see on TV or what they see on YouTube. Guys put up all these great stuff,
all the highlights.
Yeah, but there's a lot of bumps in the road. There's a lot of
there's a lot of long trips that come up birdless, and there's a lot of just it's not always going to be limits after limits after limits. It's just
mean, we all would love to go out and limit every time, but it wouldn't be called hunting, right? It wouldn't be called, the work wouldn't be put in if we could walk out jump out of every truck and drop every tailgate and fill it every time.
Yeah.
Right?
And like you said, like with preserve, like it gives you that, no guarantee, but it gives you that in the back of your mind, like there's going to be a bird that we're going to pop. The dog's going to find one. It's going to happen.
Can you hit him? Because like I said, I've been out, some guys have paid for birds and we've come back. And
you come up birdless.
Like, there's $300 you just blew. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So
exactly.
It's been, you have that kind of those situations, but like you said, that you get the experience to see what it could be like. Oh wow, I just missed that bird, but this time that bird isn't free.
Yeah.
Just experiencing it from a farm is cool, but you got to get out and try wild birds. It's just something about wild birds that makes you want to put. One thing about it, what I've learned, and this is one thing that within the last 5-6 years, trying to train your dog at a bird farm can be difficult, right? It can develop a lot of bad habits for your dog, right? Because what you do is you'll try to plant a bird, and let's say that bird isn't typically, she's been pen raised her whole life. She's not used to necessarily flushing off the rip, right? And so you've got a dog that you're trying to work and getting to understand, whoa, but he's creeping and creeping and creeping, and I'm maybe 20 or 30 yards back, and I'm still trying to get up to him, and he finally puts his mouth on the bird, right? And so now you've got an issue where you're like, I got to keep him.
Dog was just rewarded for creeping. Yeah.
So those are things where it's like you can appreciate working a dog and going out and training in South Dakota, where dog can lock up on that same bird, but he's not going to get that opportunity to put his mouth on it. That bird's going to blow. And so those are the things that you when you're out here working on a bird farm here, or if you got birds. A lot of guys use pigeons here because of that reason. You don't want to waste money on buying birds.
Sure.
So you pick up the pigeons. It can get tough. Because you don't know if a bird is sick that you put out there in the field and it doesn't fly properly, or it doesn't get up to fly away. And so there's a lot of different ways that a dog can start developing wrong habits out there. That you got, if you're not strong in your training, that you won't know. You're like, oh, he caught a bird. It's all right. Come on, buddy. Good job. Bring him here. And you're rewarding him to bring a dog.
Just reinforcing it.
So there's a lot of stuff that you could do, and a lot of guys do, but they mess up. Those are the things that if you're in it and if you want to get better, you'll start working those things to get better. But if you're not, you're going to have a dog that's going to do things that you don't want him to do all the time. Because now
that's a good reminder about a bird farm. It's like, don't use it as a training ground or a training session. Like, appreciate for what it is, but for training purposes and trying to steady a dog or whatever it might be. It's just know what it is and what it isn't.
Yeah, you got to know. And what I'd say is, if you're gonna do that, go buy the bird yourself. Get them and put them in whatever cages or pens you're gonna get.
Sure.
Take them out to a farm or private farm that you don't have on yourself, and then put those birds out there on your own, where you're not placing them, they're not sleeping them. Put them out there and allow them to just get comfortable.
Yeah.
Now you got a bird that's up. He's awake. He's aware. He's not comfortable with the space he's in. Doesn't know where he's at. He's gonna get up as soon as he feels any pressure.
Sure.
So I'd suggest that instead of just having, because birds are going to just fly to any edge that they see. They're not going to get up and fly 400 yards or 200 yards away, or get up and get out of there. They're going to fly back down within 20 yards.
Exactly. Do you have your own homing pigeons or pigeon loft?
I do not. I wish I did.
Okay.
Like I said, when we move to our next home, I think that'll be my plan is to get a nice homing pigeon pen and set it up next to the pens back there. But where we live at now, I mean, I wouldn't be able to sustain that. I mean, these too many neighbors pretty close. You know?
Yeah. I know. It's always the neighbors. It's always the neighbors.
Real. Especially when you got some of these dogs too. They're like, oh my God, these people with that.
Trying to like stay kind of low key. Yeah. That's tough, man. Let's jump back into the just hounds part. I know that you had so you have just hounds and just uplands, right? As the two. Okay. So it's two separate brands.
Two separate brands. So just hounds is the father brand. So you have just upland underneath it. It's within the same brand.
What led you to? Yeah, I was just real quick. I was going to ask you. Can you unpack like what led you to start this, and then talk a little bit more about what it is and what it isn't? I guess.
Yeah. So, like I said earlier, wanting to have something to wear that represents the things that I enjoy. Whether, like I said, I just hounds, putting on something that says, "Oh, I love to deer hunt. I love to rabbit hunt. I love to coon hunt. I love to," So if you're in the hound world, you'll understand. This is just hounds. I love hounds. Sure. And so you'll have
good little conversation starter.
Yeah, great conversation starters. And, just like you put on, a Nike outfit or anything else, you're gonna wear things that you feel confident in. And so we'll put, like I said, for me, I design them all. So I put certain designs on them that people feel comfortable wearing, certain sayings on them that people feel comfortable saying. Like I got one that says, "Trust your dog." How much work did you put in? Right on the back of it. So
that's good.
Because you can't blame your dog for the work that you didn't put in off season. So if you're mad at him for running 100 yards off track, did you work him on recall?
That's good.
So they're things that we put in that just to have fun with our training and dog work and dog guys and dog women that just understand that world. And then you also have, like I said, just upland. With the same concept, right? We got guys with Brittany's, we've got guys with setters, we got guys with wire hairs and long-tailed dogs with English pointers and GSPs. So many different ranges of different dogs and the different ways that you can be a part of it and to represent the style of dog that you like. And so we just started that and to offer that opportunity for people to represent what they love. A lot of people only grouse hunt. Right. So we wanted to offer up designs and shirts for people who grouse hunt or who rooster hunt or who pheasant hunt and quail hunt, all those different things. We just want to open up as many avenues to represent our brand and our community of hunting as hunters in a great way. Right. And something, because you might not even know what Just Hounds is. You might just like the design on it. And you're like, oh, I love that design, or I love that hoodie. It feels great. Now you're wearing it just because you like it, but you don't know that you've never hunted a dog in your life. You know what I mean? But it's just things that we enjoy, and we wanted to share it in a brand. And in doing so, it has snowballed into becoming a brand and an effective tool to open up to new hunters, to hunters that just want to join us and to go out and say, "Man, I want to go hunt with you guys," or so it's just opened up a way of fellowship to community. And we came out with our bourbon barrel wine. So Just Hounds bourbon barrel wine. We feel like, guys after a hunt or after a bird hunt, we just want to sit back and kick it and enjoy a drink. So it's something that we just want to enjoy. I'm very big on fellowship, right? Because a lot of times, getting out in the hunt, getting out in the woods, it's not always about killing like we talked about. It's about friendship, camaraderie, right? And just watching dogs and work together. And so a lot of those things, a lot of the stuff that we do is what we get from the back end of it, that familiar love, that relationship building that we can get to share with each and every one of us. Because there's a guy that might be in Hawaii who loves to bird hunt, but he can't bird hunt as much because they don't have a bird population on the island, right? And so they get a joy out of watching us or watching you, get up birds, right? And doing what you love. And so the social media world has changed so much, for people to be able to share our passions with the world. And it's done so in a good way. Now, like I said, you're always going to have guys who are the computer wizards who want to get out and tell you, what you're doing wrong, or
No, I never hear from those.
You're going to always have those guys, but I feel like as long as you're doing what you love to do, you're in the right?
Yeah, and that's awesome.
And have fun. I would tell any person, I would tell any new person, any person that's seasoned, are you having fun? Are you enjoying yourself? And if so, let's keep doing it.
Let's keep doing it.
Yeah.
So to the new hunter piece, and again, I know that's a big passion of yours. Was that talk a little bit more about like what is that? Is that something that you have built into this company right now, or is that just kind of a natural thing that just kind of came about? Like expand on that a little bit more.
Well, it came up. Well, it was natural, right? Because people always want to come hunt with me, right? They would always be like, man, hey, man, I want to go out with you, man. I always seen you. So in doing that, we opened up a window of being able to guide and take people out. And so we'll have a window or have some guys or some groups of people who want to come in and just enjoy getting out and watching the dogs or I want to come rabbit hunt. Okay, well, let's set up a rabbit hunt. Oh, I want a bird hunt. Okay, let's come out. Let's set up a bird hunt and allow you to watch, the bird dogs watch or work. And I'll ask them if they're seasoned hunters, if they want to get out, I'll work the dog and you have fun and you shoot.
Sure.
If they just want to have a hunt, we just have a hunt. We'll enjoy it together. And if you're a new hunter and you want to get out, I'm more so watching that hunter a lot. I find myself watching him a lot or her a lot. How they carry their weapon, how they're carrying their gun. Are they efficient with their weapon? Are they wearing the right tool? Are they wearing the right clothing in the field? Right. So a lot of guys are like, what do I need to wear? Or man, you let me know what I need, or things like that. And so we'll get all those conversations, those comments prior to going on a hunt. What do I need? What kind of gun do I need?
So you're really kind of sounds like you're kind of coaching them up a little bit, right? Like kind of like just a well-rounded like coach in a sense, right? Like, hey, here's the experience. Here's what to expect. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. So you have different tiers of people, right? You have someone who has no idea about our sport and wants to learn about hunting, right? Some people get into hunting through deer hunting. Some people get into it through coyote, through steel hunting, through squirrel hunting, right? Small game, big game. So a lot of times I'll ask somebody and they're like, I want to hunt. I want to start off deer hunting. Okay. Well, what makes you want to start deer hunting? Is that a passion of yours? Let's do that, because I don't want to steer you in a way away from something that has caught your eye or that has caught your passion, right? And so what I'll do is I'll hand it off to someone I know is going to deer hunt more, or is going to give them an opportunity to do something and show them, how to do it properly. I can deer hunt. I know some ways. I know what to do, but I'm going to give you or hand it off to someone who's going to spend the time.
But you might not be the best deer hunt teacher for that person. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so it's the same thing as far as you might have that next tier guy who's like, oh, I've been hunting, but I've never hunted behind dogs. And so now you got a guy that you're out there working with. He's confident with his weapon. He's got the gear. He knows he knows what to wear in the woods. He knows how to walk the woods and what to watch for and how to watch cross fences and things like that. So now I'm teaching him how to hunt over the dog, right? You might have what I would explain to him is carry your weapon high, so that way when you're watching the dog point, he may or may not jump up to catch the bird, right? So don't be so quick to take a first shot. Let the bird get above the tree line, right? Sure. And these are just things, visual cues for people to understand. Because if you just say, let the bird get up first, well, if we're talking about a quail, he's not going to get up as high as a pheasant.
Yeah, right? that can mean different things, different people based on experience.
So for a quail, they'll stay low and get out. They kind of like move out at like a jet versus like a pheasant will
kind of pop up,
like a helicopter first and then take off. So now you have two different ways you have to kind of express to them how to prepare to shoot at a bird in a safe manner. And if I'm the one going in to help kick up the bird, how am I expressing to you to get ahead of me, or to not shoot over your partner to your left, or you got everything in front of you and the guy on the far left has everything to his right or to his left, right? Sure. And so we're expressing to them all these different things, because last thing you want is someone to get hurt, or last thing you want is something that a tragedy in the field. So for me, a big thing has always been safety, but you'll get all these different tiers of people. And I might get a guy in who's already hunted, who's been worked behind dogs. He's got his own bird dogs and he just wants to come hunt. Yeah. So Coaching is a good way of putting it, because like I said, we get a lot of individuals who've never hunted.
Yeah, you're such a wide range. I mean, again, like
Yeah.
you just said, you have the guy who maybe has been doing it a while and just wants to come
Yeah.
hunt with you, and then you have the new teenager who's maybe their
For sure.
interest was piqued, right? And it was like, hey,
Yeah.
what's this bird dog thing? I'd love to go out with you, right?
For sure.
And
And what
is
I
a lot
have,
of that coming through? Are these just connections you have? Is this through a website? Is this through just the apparel? Like, where are
so
you?
a lot of
I guess
so a lot of it is community, social media, in the field hunting. So let's say like, because I'm in educational system, a lot of individuals in our community know Mr. Terry hunts, right?
Hmm.
And so they're like, "Oh, Mr. Terry, I heard you hunt. Mr. T, I heard you hunt." Like, "Yeah, man, what's up?" And I always wanted to go hunt.
let's talk.
Let's have a conversation. Or I might have a guy on social media who sends me a message and it's like, "Hey, man, I love what y'all doing. I want to come up and hunt." Okay, let's set up some dates and let's figure out when we can get out and do a hunt. Or I might have a guy that I'm out doing a hunt, or I'm guiding, or I'm hunting myself, and I bump into a guy, and he's like, "Oh man, hey, where you from?" And we have a chat, and we're talking, and we say, let's do a hunt." So there's different ways that you can bump into someone to start it. The brand gives them an opportunity to find me easily.
Sure.
Social media gives them an opportunity to find me, YouTube, all those different things. But what you'll find is that person who's searching for a way to get away or try something new, it's typically either they've been wanting to try it and they just found someone who does it, and they just bumped into oh wow, that's the kind of hunt, that's the style I want to do, or I like the way they hunt. So there's so many people people can go hunting with,
Sure.
uncles, granddaddies, fathers that are in their family that do hunt or that enjoy it, and they just they find that person who started them, but they might see in me that something like, "Oh man, I want to go with them guys. It seems like it would be cool to hunt with them," and
Sure.
so it just happens organically, or someone reaches out. Now I'm very particular. Like, everybody doesn't get a chance to go hunting like we do. Like,
Sure.
I would have a whole conversation and talk about what hunting looks like for you, what your passion is. How are you with dogs? How are you with people? I kind of get a vibe off
Yeah.
how
You can
we're
kind
communicating.
little mini interview or something.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because not everybody. Granted, we're all going in with
Sure.
not everybody. Now, if you're a licensed hunter, or like I said, if we're on a bird farm,
Yeah.
you can come in without a hunting license. But if we're on a state land or anything like that, you got to
Sure.
have your hunting license. Now you're
Yeah,
going
yeah.
through your state courses and for things like that, which
Yeah.
we kind of advise each young person to kind of go through it, and the old person if they haven't already done it. It's
Yeah.
a great way to kind of get the ball rolling to start learning. And now they have so many different ways or different things, whether it be ammunition or ammo, how to do this or how to do that,
Sure.
how to, so many different windows that you can go in and figure out new stuff,
Yeah.
versus where it used to be just like, "Oh, go get your hunter safety course,"
Yeah.
and that was it.
Exactly. And I was like, and then see you later.
Yeah.
Why, Delvin, for you, like, why is that such a passion for you? Like introducing new hunters, whether they're young or old, no matter where they are, like, where does that fire come in for you personally?
Well, I've always, like I said, education has always been a big part of my life. My mom was an assistant superintendent for her district and a principal, and my dad was a principal and an administrator within the district. So it's always been a big thing to be a part of teaching and helping and working with kids. I've been a basketball coach, worked with track. I ran track. I played basketball myself. And so just working and teaching kids to be better, and just to be able to enjoy life and to be successful in whatever avenue or plan that they have or goals that they have in their own life. And so if they come to me, or if they came to someone and said, "Man, I want to try this," or "Man, I think hunting would be cool," or "Man, I want to go fishing," or "I just want to get out and trap shoot," or try something out of the box for them, right? Because for me, it's a lifestyle.
Sure.
I'm willing to open that up to show them a new realm, so that because for me, what it's done in my life is allowed me to be more patient, for me to be more studious in a way that allows me to learn and read and work to figure out new things. But it's all based on different people and different goals and what stage of life you're in, and what you want out of this particular lifestyle. Do you just want to hunt and have fun? Do you want to take it and compete? Do you want to take it and be able to teach your grandkids how to eat? Or are you going to eat the food? Or are you going to eat the game that you kill? There's so many different ways that you can benefit from investing in this particular sport that we're in. Because it teaches us so many different things that, I mean, if I don't know who I'd be if I didn't have hunting. You know what I mean? It's like
when it becomes such a part of who you are, really, right? Like the values, it's helped you become who you are. It's
for sure,
it's inevitable,
for sure. So it's so many. So I'd say education, just wanting to help, wanting to teach, wanting to mentor kids and mentor people into being their best self as to why it probably drew me into sharing my passion, because I can only give what I know, right? Sure. A lot of people don't. A lot of people get into things and try to coach and share with people stuff that they don't know, and it becomes a problem. You know,
I would say so.
I think that I'd say that was more of the reason I kind of got into working with people and wanted to help them.
I love that, man. Well, I mean, thanks for doing that. I think that's incredible that you have that passion to be willing to take time and take these people hunting. Again, whether they're new or been doing it for a little while. I think that's something that is, again, I'm imagining like over time, like the amount of lives that you'll be able to help influence and give that experience to. Not everyone, I'm sure, will end up being a avid upland bird hunter, but that's okay. It's like you've given them a positive experience, and I think that's really cool. So,
I mean, for me, like I said, it's in the professional work that I do, working with those kids and working with individuals throughout the school system. Everything that we teach them, or the avenues of life that we give them, they're just options. Sure. Each of us have choices. Each of us have a choice to be able to say, I want to do this. I want to aspire to be this, or this is what I want to do with my life. And so how can we turn this degree into that? How can we turn this certification into this? And so a lot of people get complacent and they're just thinking, oh, I just got my degree, or I just got my certification, or I just got this. There's so many different tiers and different steps and ladders to what you can do with what you know and how you can expand upon those things. And so I would share with anybody, just dig deeper into what you want to do and to expand on it and have fun. That's pretty much the basis of it.
That's so good. Well, Delvin, as we kind of wrap this thing up here, I have a couple closing questions I like to ask every guest and get their take on. We may have kind of dabbled around this question already, but this is kind of the staple one I like to throw out there. But what's a piece of advice you would give to a new upland hunter? Again, this could be someone maybe who's just starting or very interested. Like, just what's a piece of advice that you might share with them?
Well, I definitely say enjoy yourself, have fun, embrace the moment, because not every opportunity is promised, right? So if you're getting up a wild covey, embrace that covey. Take the time to cherish that moment, because you may not ever get another shot that season. So, just enjoy the moments. And if anything that I've learned through hunting is to take a moment and appreciate that moment. And just be thankful for the day and the opportunity at the dogs or that hunter. If I'm being invited out with you, I want to appreciate you for inviting me out, or appreciate you for having me on today. So just gratitude for the day.
Sure.
Have fun, man.
That's really good. I like that. Appreciate the time we have. Appreciate those coveys, because like you said, you might not see another covey for a couple seasons. You never know.
For sure.
I mean, you never know.
That's a big.
I hope not, but yeah. All right, man. Couple rapid fire round questions for you, and we'll bring this thing home. All right, you ready?
Sounds good, brother.
All right, man. Delvin, for you, what came first, the dog, the gun, or the bird?
The dog.
Dog. Okay. Kind of had a feeling that was going to be your answer. As we go through these interviews, I kind of get to as I get to know people more, I'm already thinking of these questions. I'm like, how will they answer this? It's always fun. What gun are you carrying into the field and why?
So I really love Remington 1100. I love that tradition, that older style auto, and it's real smooth. Like I said, I've over the years it's broken in, so I just really know how it runs. So
Is that
I'd
12
say
gauge?
I got a 20 gauge. I have 20.
Oh.
I have 12 and a 20.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But I prefer the 20 gauge. I mean, especially for upland or bird, I'm doing a lot of walking with it.
Sure.
It's not as light as some of the newer
Sure.
weapons that we have out, right? So that 20 gauge is pretty much my lane.
That's awesome.
But if it's not the Remington, then I really love the TriStar over and unders that I've really grown over the last 2 seasons to enjoy
nice.
those.
Oh, very cool. I love it. All right. Favorite breed of dog besides the ones you own or have owned, so you can't say GSP.
Okay, so I'd say setters would be the
Setters.
bird dog. Yeah, I love setters. Gordon setters, English setters. I just love the style. I love in which they move to the field and where they hold their tail high. It's something that I really enjoy watching. Like I said, that's just the bird dog. And if you get an opportunity to watch them, any bird dog really, you'll kind of start picking up on the cues and picking up on how birdie they get. Each dog has their own personality, so and their own style.
Sure.
So different points for different ones. But if I were to pick, it'd probably be setters.
Okay. That's awesome. What do you think will be your next bird dog that you pick up?
It might be a GSP.
Okay.
It might be a GSP.
And you kind of referenced that a little bit.
It might be. Reason, like I said, I love the countenance. I love the behavior of the GSP. The pedigrees of some of the ones that I'm looking at right now are really good.
Nice.
But it won't, like I said, I won't be buying them within the next year or so. So
yeah,
I'm gonna give my wife a break on the bird dogs.
Yeah, there you go, smart man. Smart man. So no one send Delvin their GSP puppy litters. Don't do it.
No puppies. Don't send me any dogs. Ask me if I need any right now.
All right, a couple more here. Let's see. One bird you haven't hunted yet but want to. If you had to pick one.
So a wild, I haven't really got in on, like we said about the grouse, but it's any style of those grouse. I want to be able to get out of sage. I want to be able to get a rough grouse. I haven't really got on wild ones yet. Like I said, you have to kind of get on in a space. In Michigan, there's really great grouse. And like I said, I want to be able to get out in Wyoming and get on some of those prairie grouse.
There you go. Because Michigan can't be too far from you, right?
No, actually, Michigan, well,
grouse country, Michigan.
Yeah. So in grouse country, it'd probably be 6 to 7 hours, upper peninsula area.
Yeah.
Close,
not terrible. Could be worse.
No, I could ride. Yeah. I've driven further.
yeah, exactly. It's like, oh man, the miles we put on for birds and dogs, man, it's crazy. All right, let's go. Your go-to hunting snack on a hunting trip.
So Vienna sausages would probably be that.
Just like a straight, like a hot dog we're talking about?
Yeah, it's like the Vienna sausage with the crackers. And
with the little tiny ones.
Yeah, little tiny ones. Yeah,
that's a first. That's a first on here.
So it just a quick little throw in the mouth, grab some, grab a cracker and go with it. That'd probably be a honey bun with it and keep it going.
Oh, honey bun. That's awesome. Dude, I haven't had a honey bun in years. Oh my gosh, that brings back memories.
Yeah. So that'd probably be the go. Now I've always got some. My partner is always carrying some gummies with him, so I'm in the woods and we might be like 10 miles in, and he's then broke out a bag of gummy bears or something like that. So it's like that always works too.
That's awesome. Oh, all right, man. Last one here. Beverage of choice after a hunt.
It's got to be Gatorade.
Gatorade.
Gato. Yeah, and like I said, it's going straight to the stomach. if not water. But yeah,
I know.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So if
Good old classic.
Over the water.
Yeah, that's a classic, man. Someone, who was it? I think it was Cal Hardy when he was on Propel.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm like,
yeah.
I haven't heard Propel in years.
Dude, man, it's been probably 2 years ago. Me and a buddy of mine, we were out, and we had hunted all day, but we had forgotten any water on us.
Oh, geez.
And so it's probably about 15 degrees out, and the creeks are frozen over. But we hit this creek, and the water's broken up, and it's coming over a stream. So, oh man, that was the best water you could think
I'm
about.
sure.
Awesome. It has its moments, you know, wherever you can find a good pool that's fresh and moving.
Yeah,
a good keep it moving.
That's key, man. Well, Delvin, this has been a blast, man. Thank you for carving out some time in your evening and just catching up with you, man. I know we've wanted to, I wanted to get you on here for a little while, so thanks for making it happen. And
I appreciate you, brother, for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the best way for people to stay in touch with you? Whether it's social media, website, all that stuff.
Well, Just Hounds on any platform. So Just Hounds TV, if you're looking on YouTube, Just Hounds. SWT would be sticking with tradition on any platform, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can find us on there, and we'd love to have you. Shoot a message, and we'll follow up. I typically message you back right away if I have the time. And if you got any questions for me, shoot me a message. If you want to get out and do a hunt, or if you just want to enjoy a good day and have a drink, feel free to shoot me a message. And we got to get out and do some hound hunting, man. And
yes, man. My interest is piqued. Well, Delvin, thanks again, man. This has been awesome, and we'll be talking to you soon, man.
Likewise, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Take it easy.
Well, that's a wrap of episode 76 with Delvin Terry of Just Hounds and Just Upland. Delvin, thank you so much, man. I really, really appreciate that conversation. Hearing more about rabbit hunting, hound dogs, just kind of how those two worlds collide for you. And it's fun seeing someone's passion. Again, with something that I've never done, but I can get a real taste of it, through your lens and your experiences. So thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it. Hey guys, don't forget, if you could leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, that would greatly, greatly help the podcast grow and get out there to more hunters. Also, get signed up on Patreon, become a Patreon supporter today. In the month of February, it's going to double your odds of winning the brand new Final Rise Summit XT vest and field glove, or accessory for the vest, hat from Upland Rookie, some stickers, all that good stuff. So a huge giveaway. Get signed up on patreon.com/the Upland Rookie Podcast. And good luck to everyone who enters. And yeah, I think that's about it, guys. Thanks so much for following along. Thanks for your support of the podcast, for sharing this on social media. I know a lot of you have been tagging us, have been sharing this on your stories, whatever it might be. Thank you so, so much. Greatly appreciated. Just have loved seeing the growth of the show and just interacting with each and every one of you as much as I can, whether it's through DMs or phone calls or texting, whatever it might be. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So thank you for following along, and we'll talk to you next week. But until then, go put some miles on those boots and follow your favorite bird dog. Take care.